Alright, here we are for round one. And this hand is interesting since it's missing some white sources and doesn't really have any removal, but I think it's worth it to keep it when he's mulliganing to 6 especially, since we'll be able to syncopate on turn 2. There's a chance we'll just die to some quicker things. So do I want to cycle Quicken on turn 1? I think I don't need to. Worst thing he could do is probably Domri here, which isn't happening, thankfully. Okay, let's see if we can get resize this down to something reasonable, and go ahead and play an island. That way we can... Okay, he's on Golgari Charm, so it's good we don't have Detention Sphere. Okay, we're definitely syncopating that. Looks like he doesn't have an untapped land. Okay, played Island so I could potentially go Quicken into Quicken. And it's unlikely the Mutavault matters. Okay, this is looking somewhat reasonable. So he has Rakdos's Return, Golgari Charm, and he's whiffing on lands. Definitely gonna just counter that. It's worth it almost for the scry, and he needs mana. So do we want a Plains? Gets us closer to casting Wrath and potentially cast more for our Rev. I think this is actually close scry, since we're gonna draw lands eventually with our cycler. I'm actually gonna put it on the bottom. Kind of speculative and might seem weird, but I think it's the right play. And there was a Guildgate on top, so it's at least working in this world, I think. Okay. Looks like we found some lands. So he has Vraska, Golgari Charm, and Rakdos Return. And go ahead and cycle Quicken. Okay, Jace isn't half bad. So if he has an untapped land, he can play Vraska and kill our Jace if we play it, which would be essentially a disaster. Or he could Rakdos Return for 3. So we either leave up Dissolve or play Jace and hope he doesn't have an untapped land. And plus the Jace. I think we're far enough ahead that we're not under enough pressure that we can afford to play it safe and just hope that the Rev finds us answers. Okay, he's gonna keep the Chandra. And there's not really a good reason to rev yet. So we know he has Golgari Charm, so definitely gonna wait on the Supreme. Okay, he's whiffs on another land. So he has Chandra, Vraska, Golgari Charm, Rakdos Return. And he can't do anything without leaving himself vulnerable to Wrath. So we will go ahead and rev for 3. Okay, options are could Wrath with Dissolve. That doesn't seem that effective though, since we have Azorius Charm now. Could also Jace with Dissolve and Azorius Charm, which seems a little better. I think I'm just gonna play this and pass though. Okay, Last Breath. I think I'll just keep that. Since it does get coarser. Okay, he finds another land. And there's a big Garuk. Could have cycled into Last Breath, that would have left Dissolve mana down. Oops. Okay, declare a blockage step. We didn't click through it while we were talking. Okay, let's charm that. Should have written down his hand. So it's getting big. I might as well do that now while we think of it. So Chandra, Vraska, Charm, and Return. And he has Courser on top with a Garuk underneath. Look at all our information. Wait, doesn't he have a Caryatid somewhere in there? He also has a Caryatid, I think. Whatever. Okay. So Chandra will go ahead and dissolve. And we have the option to put that on bottom now. Which we possibly should have done in the first place. So he'll go Courser at some point, which we can Wrath with Dissolve back up. Yeah, I think I'll keep it. And start things off with a Jace minus. Cleansing Divination. So Cleansing's pretty good, but so is Divination. I think I'll actually go for the Divination here. Bottom. This game's looking pretty good now. So he has Chandra gone, so he has Carroted, Vraska, Charm, Return, Courser, and a Garuk on top. Alright. That doesn't do anything. It's interesting he did that pre-combat. Okay, Dreadbore. Just let that happen. Okay, Planar Cleansing, not bad. Not bad at all. I don't think Wrathing is critical here. Elixir. Don't actually know if I want that or not. Doesn't actually seem necessary. I'll draw it eventually. The debate is whether it increases my draws quality enough in the short term or not. Okay, so he has Garuk in hand now. And we know his entire hand. Go ahead and Mutavault. It's not worth it to Supreme since we would have to waste our Dissolve and then he can Rakdos return us. So we got another Courser. Having Planar Cleansing in this matchup is just like ridiculously good compared to Tension Sphere, since the games will basically always go long and they have lots of Planeswalkers. So we can attack into our 2 Mutavaults. We're just gonna take it, do a big rev, and hopefully find another counterspell. Or any number of good things. Okay, Syncopate is nice. So we could counter it or just cast another Verdict. So he has Vraska, Rakdos, Return, Garuk in hand, I believe. So I think it's worth it to just cast another Verdict. Since we want to counter all the things. And we're in discard mode. Sure. Could just planar cleansing that eventually or ignore it, but why not just do that instead? We're definitely in can't lose mode now, so it's very easy to play sloppy here, and it's actually sometimes right to play sloppy a little bit, I feel, rather than thinking through all your decisions. I mean, our clock is already at low with all the thinking and such we've done. Yeah, go ahead and dissolve that. At this point, Sphinx's revelation is more than a counter to Rakdos' return. Go ahead and plus. So he has Garuk, Rakdos' return. Sure. Mutavault beatdown seems like the quickest way to victory here. Suppose this leaves us vulnerable to like Thoughtseize Rakdos return, but that doesn't even come close to beating us. The Mutavault. Attack with all creatures. So he has Big Garuk, he'll be able to resolve. We can cleansing it and rev. We have 18 cards and 16 minutes on our clock. Those are the biggest threats at the moment. Is accidentally decking ourselves or timing out. Not anything like life total shenanigans. Alright, we'll go ahead and cleansing. Just hit for a little bit so we don't get Rakdos returned a bunch. Alright, Vraska doesn't matter. It's out of cards. Go ahead and quicken cleansing, I suppose. And he scoops. Alright, so what do we want in this matchup? Big J seems reasonable. Spell seems junky. Elspeth seems somewhat reasonable. Last Breath kind of only hits Courser and Caryatid, I suppose, or Elvish Mystic, I suppose. So what's our opponent gonna bring in? Possibly a few more. Do they have more Planeswalkers in the sideboard? Probably not, but like Mistcutters, Thoughtseizes, and other discard spells, maybe a few other Haymakers, like Sire of Insanity or something. Kind of want to get rid of the Elixir. Doesn't seem necessary. Possibly a Shave, a Quicken. Supreme seems good. I like some amount of Last Breath since they're a good answer to Courser or possibly Elvish Mystic. Charm doesn't really do much. This seems fine. This deck's already pretty well suited to beat Jund Planeswalkers. What else is there? Vraska, Xenagos, Big Rook, Chandra. Do we have anything good against that? Not really. Maybe. Sure. Alright, this hand seems good. And he isn't exploding yet out the gates. Go ahead and get our white mana, and the Scry isn't that useful yet since we're basically happy drawing any card in the deck at this point. So we can cycle Charm and still have a Divination or Dissolve. I think we want to Scry this turn though. Put that on the bottom. We'll get to resolve a Planeswalker here. Unfortunately, Xenagos would have been worse, I think. And I will go ahead and leave up Dissolve now. And definitely dissolving that. Do not need more land. It's down to 4 cards at least. That's what we've got going for us. Probably just plain Jason minusing it since he I guess he hit, what did he hit? Hit Caryatid maybe? I don't know. I'll just go ahead and Jace. There's obviously a bunch of cards he can play here that are bad for us. I guess we gotta take the Quicken. can return us for 4. Play like Vraska, Xenagos, Siren of Insanity would be game basically. Mistcutter Hydra would be okay. Looks like it's return if he thought for a long time and then did it. Yep. And I think this is what we're discarding. Might Jace go up, back up to 4 loyalty? Did I not use this? I remember using it. Alright. It was just dying and reset to its normal planeswalk ability. And not too worried about Chandra ulting. I'm not sure what it can hit in this deck. A bunch of Golgari Charms or Rakdos returns. And unfortunately we whiff on land here. Might be another Rakdos return in our future. Okay, I think he hit Stomping Ground off that reveal. And Vraska isn't that scary. This is actually pretty good since, all things considered, since planar cleansing basically wins us the game. I will pay 2. So I can syncopate something. No, he hit return, so maybe be syncopate Cycle Azorius Charm. Let's see how much he plays it for. Okay, almost the full amount is good. Okay, he's up to Assassin Kill You mode. I think Rev is best here. Since, I mean, 2 Jace activations will get us deeper, potentially, but it's unlikely that Jace would survive, I'm feeling. And he goes for the Assassins. Player loses the game. I would not like to lose the game. Alright. So, Jace Plus beats the Assassins. We can Divination first. He does have Hero's Downfall for a Jace. If we Elspeth, we die. I don't know if I want to cast Wrath or not, though, either, since he could easily have Golgari Charm if we draw Wrath. It's kind of sucky. Alright, so we're gonna need help, I think. Yeah. Definitely gonna need help. So we can... It's got the Chandra Courser goodness going. Just read the bones. Bottom, bottom. Duress on top. Those were... I don't know if those were revealed or not at some point. As he drew them? Are those in his hand? Because of Read the Bones Courser interaction? So could plus Elspeth and activate a Mutavault. Oh, he cast Dreadbore, so he has Hero's Downfall. So if we plus Elspeth, we're dead through Chandra plus and Hero's Downfall. I feel like we have to rev for 1 and hope to hit Wrath. Sure. Or Jace works as well. Alright. Let's go ahead and lose the game. Sure, you can look just for the novelty of dying to the assassins. Triggered ability, you lose the game 3 times. Alright. So, what could have went differently that game? Not certain. Archangel would be reasonable, I suppose. I'm actually happy with this configuration, though. Alright, this hand is decent. Possibly a little slow. Mulligans. We would like some land. Alright, that's acceptable. Guess I'll go for the white source since we have Wrath. And yeah, I can take that. This seems like a good time for a divination. Seems like a better time for a dissolve, but I will take what I can get. No untapped land yet. Unfortunately, the Azorius Charm's kind of gumming up the process. Alright, untapped land. So we can cycle 2 charms or Wrath. I think I'll just cycle 2 charms. It's kind of annoying if he has Golgari Charm, because I want to Supreme next turn, ideally. Alright, StarCityGames. I highly doubt he's naming Azorius Charm. If he does, he's ghosting. Sphinx's Revelation. I probably should have, I could have potentially cut a Sphinx's Revelation since I saw he had StarCityGames, but it worked out since we don't have any in hand. This is actually pretty much the best thing he could have done this turn, since we don't have a counter. And our deck is perfectly fine, even without Rev, since we have Elspeth and Big Jace, and the other Jaces. Did he... wait, Exiled Zone, okay. Sometimes hard to tell what's happening. Alright, cycle once, cycle twice. So, I think I have to Wrath because he just has too much mana. Otherwise, and he missed a land drop, so yeah. Wrathing is a no-brainer. Next turn, we've got a bunch of options, or a few options. I assume he's taking Cleansing since, okay, that's odd. Okay. Not sure what my plan is next turn. I'm at 10 though. I might just want a Big Jace. It could die to Downfall. I could also this Jace minus. I kind of like Big Jace in here, since he can't kill it with just Satyrs. I am at risk to a lot of things though, but I think this is the play. Alright. Okay. I will definitely keep that. Top of the library, better protected than the hand, so better to scry after drawing. Let's see what he goes for. Alright, interesting. He might not have any play here. Or Corsair. This is fantastic if he whiffs. Holy jeez, this is amazing. So, I think we want him drawing Xenagos since it's not a land. Yeah. And Elspeth. That is some icing on the cake. So long, everything. Kind of forget what's in his hand. Xenagos, something else we know about. That we know about. Okay. I kind of want to leave up Dissolve when I cast my Elspeth. I think this is actually fine. Take Jace first. Oh yeah, does he have? He doesn't have Duress. No. Just go ahead and take that, so we can Elspeth Dissolve next turn, and attack land. Scry's somewhere bottom. Go ahead and plus. Plus. And things are looking good. Let's go to Nebraska. Minus. And Syncopate is very welcome. Addition to the squad. And go ahead and play another Jace. I think it's worth it to keep the card engine rolling. Who needs Revelations? Sure, play land. Yep, I will counter it. Dissolve, please. And we did it. Hooray. That was fun.